Hi, it's Mark. Good morning. I'm recording this on Friday morning, December 3rd, or as we might start now referring to our time so many days into Omicron. And what is Omicron? It's a word that I've heard before. I've met people of Greek heritage who've used the word Omicron in the name of their company, Omicron Investments or Omicron Holdings or whatever. And it's just a letter of an alphabet of a language most of us don't speak. And it's a symbol. There's a symbol for that letter of the Greek alphabet. But more recently, we've learned that somewhere between alpha and omega, we have delta and we have Omicron, and probably in due course, we'll have lots of other names for variants of the COVID-19 virus. And the naming protocol began about the time that the Delta variant came about. It was obviously not the second one or first one, because we had Alpha and so on. I think it's Alpha, Beta, Zeta, Delta. Delta, I think, is the fourth or fifth letter of the Greek alphabet. So I'm exposing my ignorance of the Greek alphabet, but some knowledge of the politics, because at the time, the variant in question that became known as the Delta variant originated in Asia, and Donald Trump, who was the mouthpiece of the American people at the time, wanted to label it based on the place where it was first identified. And that would be like calling the Omicron variant the South African variant. Didn't originate there necessarily, but it was first identified there. The flag was raised by the doctors in South Africa that, hey, everybody, this thing has mutated again, and we've got a new variant. And the World Health Organization and the CDC and other organizations got the intelligence of their doctors assembled and got lots of discussions going on. Somebody decided to call it Omicron. And Omicron virus, the variant of the COVID-19 virus, is now racing around the world, as viruses tend to race and infect people. And it seems, once again, it's infecting the unvaccinated at a greater rate than the vaccinated. Nobody knows for sure yet whether this is just another footnote in the history of medicine, that the Omicron variant will have come and gone and later replaced by some other more virulent, prevalent, and fast-acting variant of a virus. The more important issues that doctors and government officials are not yet commenting on is, do you get sicker? Do more people end up in the hospital? Do more people die? Or is this some kind of weakened version, a weakened variant of the virus? I don't know. I've been reading voraciously in recent days, and all I can decipher is that they agree. The experts agree, the government officials agree, the doctors seem to agree that they don't know enough yet, that they haven't got enough experience with cases yet to determine what the science really is. So the measures that have been taken have been somewhat immediate and dramatic compared to so many other stages of the pandemic, where we've seen governments talk out of one side of their mouth one week and the other side of their mouth the next. And there was a hodgepodge of action and inaction by governments around the world. And you may recall, within the last couple of years, we suddenly were looking at New Zealand and Taiwan as places where they got really smart about the virus quickly, and they were untrusting of the political statements coming out of China as to the severity or not of the virus. And people were seeing holes in the ground for large emergency hospitals being built in various places around the world, or large grave sites. We're hearing about all kinds of refrigerated trucks in New York to handle the extra bodies because the morgues were overflowing. Yes, we've had a lot of high drama and a lot of anxiety to go with it. So where I'm going with this talk is to talk about what anxiety should we be feeling about Omicron? Should we be hunkering down again, or just going about our business, but following the advice about masking and safe distancing and washing our hands? And I don't think that anyone's solved the political messaging or the media messaging yet to give comfort in a universal way around the world. Pretty clearly, the World Health Organization, the United Nations, haven't been very good at that. It seems they're a bit better at it now, a bit more organized than they were before. The American government, under the leadership of Joe Biden, seems to be decisive and muted when compared to the Trump era political rhetoric. But are they doing anything wiser or less wise? It's too soon to tell. And it's odd that we should walk around in our days wanting to live our lives, run our businesses, go to work, go out to play, that we should be so uncertain. But we just are. It's just the way things are. And I don't identify with the anti-maskers and the anti-vaxxers. I don't agree with their point of view, but I do understand their desire to not be restricted in what they do. I don't want to be restricted in what I do. I want to go about my business. But I've gone about my business all my life on the beliefs that I could walk around safely in a free country without any inhibitions unless I broke a law. So we all want that. But maybe we're in a new world now. Maybe we need to not just about an Omicron virus variant or whatever next thing we'll have going around the world in the next year or 5 or 10 years, or maybe a century. We'll wait till the next one. But I think that most people don't believe that now. We realize we were lucky to have gone a century without a pandemic in this world. We likely won't go that long again. But we're more concerned about safety of ourselves and our families and our fellow man. We have to do things differently now. We need to run our businesses and our buildings and our public activities differently. And I can imagine a lot of people saying, well, when will it end? When will this be over? When can I get back to normal? And I don't have any brilliant answer. No expert or official or government pronouncement has suggested that anybody has a better clue than they've had in the last couple of years. But finger crossing shouldn't be our only alternative, right? Keep our fingers crossed and be hopeful. But what should we be doing differently? Well, we look to governments and we look to medical officials to tell us what to do. And they're telling us to keep safe distancing, to isolate if we're ill, to wear masks and to wash our hands and get vaccinated. So I'll end on that note. The minimum waiting time after your second shot to get a booster shot is 6 months. And I got my second vaccination 6 months ago. So my first date of eligibility is the 10th of December. And I have an appointment booked for the 11th of December to get my booster shot. I don't know if there's a lot we can do besides washing our hands and maybe wringing our hands with frustration over all of this. Hopefully the science will bear out that the Omicron variant is not a new horror, but rather a stage of getting the COVID-19 virus under control on a global basis, and we can keep vaccinating. Hopefully, booster shots will continue to give protection to people like me who are going to get that booster shot, and we won't get ill with COVID. And we can go back to a calmer level of being without lapsing back to how we were before we learned how to spell pandemic and appreciate what's going on here. It's a new world order. We have to behave in new ways to stay safe and keep our friends and family and colleagues safe so that we can carry on and do business as usual. And I'm dressed and ready to go. I'm going to head from my home office to my office shortly. I'm going to play safe. I'm going to get my booster shot. And I hope you will do the things you need to do to stay safe. And I will record an update on this soon. Have a great day whenever you're watching this. I wish you well and wish you good health. My name is Mark Kolke. Bye-bye.